Hello and welcome to another episode of The Final Siren with Duck and Oz from the Purple Rain. Oz, bitterly disappointing loss there. Really a game where, mate, we dominated every aspect except for on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was crazy. Plus 76 disposals, plus 29 inside 50s. And you'll talk about it in a second, mate, but the inside 50 efficiency rate, we're going at 39.7% compared to 73.5% for Collingwood. And it was a game where one team really took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to them. And for us, we showed a lot of courage and a lot of guts to come out barnstorming, if you will, and then to try and arrest some momentum in the back end, of that fourth quarter, or the start of the fourth quarter, I should say, back end of the game is what I meant to say. And I think we just spent our tickets, unfortunately, trying to get back to that position. And in the end, just struggled just to get over the hump. And I wouldn't mind hearing from you, mate, in terms of what your thoughts were.
Reid kicks the goal in the last quarter, only halfway through the last quarter. We're back in it. All of a sudden, we're up and about. And then, just that inability to maintain that lead. Collingwood always had the answers. It felt like every time they went inside 50, they had an opportunity to score. And I think it was a lot around our ball movement and how we went about it compared to them. They seem to, and look, they're a vastly more experienced side. They've got a number of premiership players in there. I think they're 4 years on average to our senior. There's 62 games, so that's 3 seasons on average to our senior, and it's just one of those things where they knew, and they know each other so well that you see when they got the ball from turnover, it was bang straight away. It's straight, long kicks. I know, and their players knew where to run to advantage and all that kind of stuff. Whereas with us, it was slow, methodical, a little lack of faith in our own ability, a little lack of faith in taking the game on. And that really just, it hurt our forwards because they were able to fold back.
Yep.
Darcy Moore, Billy Frampton, Darcy Cameron, all able to really play a really big, strong game, intercept in the back 50, and look, from there was just, like you said, inside 50, 63 entries for 23 shots versus 34 entries for 22 shots. Like, it just, like, that kind of, it is the game. That's the game right there. So, I think the fact that we won clearances, I thought before the big Hodor went down, he was doing some good things. Dogger Jackson looked really up and about. Shea Bolton played his best game for the club.
Yep.
He
9
looked,
clearances.
Well, that was the thing that we talked about on Monday. Is like, who's going to replace Youngie? What do they do? Is it maybe potentially Roland JT through? Is it Dogger plays as a mid? But we forgot about Bolton, and he is such a dynamic player, and he just gives us so much of a different look inside that centre square that I hope going forward he is the one that stays in there. I know you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're missing that guy on the forward line, but I think you've got to. The game is won and lost in the centre a lot of the time. So, it's a really tough situation there. Look, I thought Wagner did a fantastic job on Dacos, and I thought Jordan Clark played with such spirit and vigour.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into some of his stats,
yeah,
mate?
look, Jordy Clark, 33 disposals, 4 tackles, the 462 metres gained, and the 2 clearances were elite, but it was just his willingness to take the game on, and I thought the same spirit level that was required to beat Collingwood, because you can't be safe, and I thought, unfortunately, we just had, scenarios where I just thought we were too safe. But really, we showed our brand early. We were playing great footy. We were looking at it. G'day, mate. How you going?
JT, how are you, bud?
G'day, mate.
Wags, how are you?
Obviously, bitterly disappointing, the result, mate. But having said that, we were just talking before about how we're up on so many of the KPIs, and early on we were showing our brand of footy. We're playing an elite brand of footy. We're looking really strong. And then, Collingwood being Collingwood, mate, it's a tough team to beat. And I think, we can, as fans, we can go, we've lost a game. But the reality is there's a reason why Collingwood are as good as what they are. So talk to us about what you saw out there. And
yeah, a lot of what you said, but bloody disappointed as well. It's never good losing, and when we play the way like we did when we wanted to for 4 quarters, and we lose it, it hurts. So Yeah, clearly got a lot right. Bit of stuff centre forward that just let us down, bit of composure. So certainly a lot to take from the game and a lot to hold our heads high with, but still quite disappointed with the result.
Yep.
Now, Wags, who's this little one that we've got here?
This is little Remy Scott Wagner.
That's my job to eat the mic, mate.
Hey, big fella.
Bit of
Little
meat.
Remy. And how old, Wags?
6 months now.
6
hello.
months.
Yeah.
Nice. So what type of milestones are we kicking off?
Sitting up by himself.
Nice.
Crawling.
Yep.
Looking at everyone. Touching everything.
Yeah, good.
Fantastic. And how's the sleep going?
He's good. He's good. He's waking up. He's started teething
Oh,
now. so
Hello,
yeah.
look out for that.
Yep.
a couple of nights up. So no, he's been good, but he's a very chiller.
What about your sleep, mate? I mean, have you hit a milestone for getting a night through?
No, my missus is very good with that. So,
Yeah.
I've gotten used to sleeping through his cry, and she looks after on game days and stuff like that. So she's very good.
Fantastic. Now, Wags, let's just talk about your game for a second. You managed to, you're obviously doing a pretty good lockdown role there on Josh Dacos, on Nick Dacos, had the run with roll.
Yeah.
Kept him to 18 disposals. That's the lowest disposals he's had since 2023. How, just personally, how much do you take out of that?
Oh, he's a star. He's going to be one of the greatest in the games to play. So to do that with the help of AB, he was tired by the time I got to him. So he tried to drag me forward, and he did a good job there. So it's good. It's good. Good with confidence.
It was definitely a team performance today. I thought one of the things that we were really looking forward to seeing is how the team rebounded from last week, and certainly it was evident early on. You guys had started out with the intent and all that sort of stuff, which was fantastic to see. What was, if you don't mind, what was going on through the week? In terms of mindset, in terms of what was said in order to get us to play to that point.
I think it was the things without football, the footy in our hands. It's the things we can't control, how we run it, put our head over the footy, work for each other, the way we talk and communicate. I think it was a bit of a line in the sand moment where we just said that's enough sooking, enough whinging about little things, and let's just get to work. So yeah.
Yep.
Boys, just on a mental side of things, how, when you're out there, how frustrating does it get when, especially in that third quarter, we seem to dominate for long periods, and yet there's no scoreboard pressure? How does that feel? Do you feel like it bubbles up, or what's the feeling when you're out there?
Yeah, it's a hard one because, you have all this time in forward half and you feel like you should be scoring, but, it's not always the case. So, yeah, it can get frustrating, but you can't let it because, the game's played over such a long period of time that you have your moments. And we know that any week, if we have a lot of time in our forward half, that eventually they're going to break and we'll get a look in. But, there were times where they just wouldn't give in. It speaks of the quality of side that they are and their back half. So something we'll keep chipping away at for sure.
A lot of good performances today. We talked before about Geordie Clark and his run and drive off that half-back line. When you see him streaming through the middle about to deliver that ball inside 50, you're just licking your lips because it looks from us from up there, looking at how he's moving through the middle, it just looks like he's going to deliver it on a plate.
Yeah, he's not the only one. This bloke sitting to me right is in that same bracket as well, and there's a few others. And, it was exciting to get a good bit of run and carry through the middle of the ground for us today, and not only just me, for all of the forwards.
He's a competitive bastard, so he'll do that same thing for you the other way. So,
And Wags, how are you feeling with this new kind of, it seems like a new role running through the midfield?
Yeah.
Is it something that you're confident that you'll keep going with? Or?
Oh, yeah, like I've said to the coach multiple times, I just want to stay on the side. And if that's doing what I'm doing tonight, if it's playing half back, if it's even going forward and kicking a cheeky one, I'll just do whatever I need to do for the team. If it's, like I said.
Obviously, I don't want to sound like I'm being rude, but saying a journeyman, like this is your third club. So is there still that within you, you're like, man, I'm just living day in, day out, I'm getting 1 week at a time?
Pretty
I
much
would say
that.
personally, I think that you've cemented your spot in the side, I think the way you've played the start of the year and now the middle of the year, these last couple of games as a guy who can roll through the mids has been fantastic. Yeah,
I just want to put as much trust in the coach that I can. I can go anywhere, do anything. So if that's, like I said, doing any little role, I'm happy to do that and bringing the vibe each day at training. So, have that, been through the do the bit of working outside. I don't want to go back and do that, so I'll do everything I can to stay here.
Yeah, nice. As much as you can, what was the general message from JL? Like, there has to be some positives there.
Yeah, it was. We're back to playing our trademark footy, which is what we said, the non-controllables. And even though it does suck to lose, it's a bit easier to lick our wounds the way we played tonight than losing by 100.
Yeah.
That's it. And going into the game next week at GWS, take a fair bit of confidence into that, given the performances tonight. Yeah,
I certainly think so, and it's certainly going to be a big step forward, certainly with the way we've travelled this year, and we'll butter up after a few days after a busy schedule that we've had. So it'd be nice to be able to get out and support the Peel boys, spend a bit of time together over the weekend, and hit the ground running on Monday, and hopefully have a good travel trip.
Yeah, nice. And look, definitely, mate, from a fan's perspective, we wanted to see you guys just come out and show the effort and the vigour that we know you guys can, and it was definitely on display tonight. Obviously bitterly disappointed, and I understand where you're coming from, but there's definitely positives to take out of that, and certainly proud of the way in which we came out. And just there was that time where we could have just given in, but we just trademark dug deep. Wharfie sign was coming up. It was that's the stuff. I was going to say something else there. That's the stuff that we really want to see from you guys.
Yeah, it was a big focus for us during the week. We knew last week was certainly not the way. We want to represent the footy club, and it was a bit of a line in the sand moment for us, because I certainly don't want to experience what we experienced last week. So, boys had a good week on the track last week. Took a step forward tonight. Disappointed, but we review it for what it was and move forward.
All right. Well, Wags and JT, and of course Remy.
What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah.
Hey.
What do you reckon, little fella?
Father son.
Very exciting time. So thank you guys for joining us. It's always hard fronting up after a loss like that, but I think we've definitely on the right track moving forward. And look, they had 4 years on average experience and 62 games extra, and I think it really showed in how they go about it. But I think we just keep working hard. Big win against GWS next week. Let's get back on that board, that winners list, and away we go for the season.
Good on you, fellas.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.
All right, well, need more Remy content, I reckon. Look, Oz. I think on that note we might wrap things up for today. Look, guys, I think in the end, really tough loss out there today. Given the amount of inside 50s we had, given the dominance in general play that we had, and just that inability to convert those chances. And look, I think in the end the boys will go back, they'll concentrate. You got to take stuff from what Collingwood did as well. That direct ball movement, that trust in each other, that trust in your own ability, and to say, hey, look, if we can bring that in terms of the way we go about it, we will be a very hard side to beat.
Yep.
But Oz, 9-day break now, a little bit of a mini kind of bye, rest and recoup.
Yeah, recoup.
Is that a word?
Recuperation.
Recuperation. GWS on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh.
Saturday afternoon. Over. So a bit of a break
Sunday,
now.
are those?
So hopefully a bit off Broadway now. We're back to
Yes.
where we should be.
Yes.
Big game out at GWS, and look, a really important one to get back and get that ledger back to 5-5.
And look, absolutely. And again, as much as we are bitterly disappointed, let's just remember where Collingwood are. And it was a definite lesson tonight in how good they are as a footy side, and how elite they are at moving the ball and taking opportunities, particularly from intercept marks and intercept possessions, and how skillful they are. And we've got to get to that. That's the benchmark. We've got to get to that and learn from that. And as much as we can be and should be disappointed by that loss, that's a benchmark that you have to hit.
Yeah, that's it, and that's the projection we need, and we need another. And look, we know as fans we are so desperate for success. We're so desperate for wins and finals and flags. Like that's what we want to see from this club, and that's what the club wants as well. Like it's not just the fans demand; it's every part of this club that wants it. So, like we've just got to see, hey, look, it's going to take time. It's going to take a fair bit of work, and what we're going to need from everyone is just keep fronting up, whether you're a fan, you're a player, you're a coach, you just keep fronting up day in, day out. And, like, it just you've just got to bring that brand that we need and make the most of every opportunity. And I think just back the players in, have a bit of faith in yourself if you're a player, and look, I think that's all we can do moving forward. So, guys, on that note, remember to subscribe, rate and review if you're listening to this podcast, wherever it is. If you're on YouTube, click the bell, subscribe to Docker TV, leave a comment. Why not comment your favourite ex-Docker? I know I love a couple of ex-Dockers, mate. Andrew Wills, I was looking at. I was showing some Andrew Wills videos. He's one of the greats, Andrew Wills. But I think, remember as well, guys, we do a review of the game on our podcast, The Purple Rain. So we're at Purple Rain 95, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you look up The Purple Rain on Spotify or iTunes, wherever it happens to be, you can tune into us on a Monday afternoon. And the show's generally out Monday night. So where we go through with a fine-tooth comb. And we learn how to speak properly as well, believe it or not. 10 years of doing a podcast, can't even talk properly. And we'll dissect the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And thank you to JT and Wags for jumping on.
And Remy.
And Remy, of course, the star of the show.
All right, see you guys.